What's up, you guys? This is Devin from CenturyFX Studios, and we're back with another video, and we're doing another one of these quick videos now. First off, we want to understand that the sound that you're hearing, the humming, is from my laptop. It's breathing really heavy because I am in Photoshop and Lightroom. So, with that being said, let's get into this video, and this is just a quick tip. Now, this is an image that I really liked today that we shot. I shot through the window and got some really nice quality of light. It's hard, but at the same time, it has this soft flooding texture from the window as well. So I used a beauty dish to get this one shot right through the window. And here I noticed that there's an issue with this image, a really big glaring issue that you don't quite see when you first. Now this is straight out of the camera, and this was raw. But this is a big glaring issue that's really starting to get on my nerves as I look at the image more often now that I see it. And if you don't see it, some people might not see it because it's not lit as well, but it's still there. And it's this chair down here. It's a back of a chair in a game room, because this is a game room we're shooting in. So you never know what you're actually going through. Now, I like this star right here. I think it adds to the shot. Some people might think it detracts from the shot. But since most of the body parts are seen here, and the part that's lit is the most important part, I think that this really glazes out of the frame nice. Some little front bokeh there. Not the most intelligent front bokeh, if you don't know what it is, but maybe if I bring out some of the specular highlights, it'll make its presence a little bit more known, but not enough to distract from the model, just to have a presence in the image. Trying to add to that starry, glamoury type look. It kind of matches with the earrings as well. So when we look at this image, we have this glaring disappointment here, which is the chair. But the chair was really heavy. I didn't really feel like moving it once I saw the shot and the model. There's so many factors that make a great image, and I thought it was a great image. I also could not focus on this image. I could not focus to save my life on this image because the area that we're around, it doesn't have that many outlets. I can't fill it with my fill light that I had. It wasn't used as a main light. It was more like a focusing light. It was like a modeling lamp that I was using to help me focus on, despite where I was, focus on the model, because if you can get some light to the model's face, you can focus on it even with the outside focus points and not just the center ones. So that's what I was trying to do. I was like, well, I can't focus. I kept missing focus on this shot because I couldn't see the model's face. I didn't know exactly what I was focusing. I was looking at the whites of the eyes and trying to get the eyes to be in focus, and it was so hard for me to get this creative shot because it was hard for me to keep everything in focus. So once I got the shot, I just took it and I got it in focus, but I got a little artifact here. And you don't really see it in the viewfinder when you're looking at it, reviewing in the image. You're just looking at what's lit, and what's lit is correctly lit, but you still got this thing. So in post, what you want to do is with this quick tip, we're just going to erase this. And the way you do it is you go to Photoshop. So I'm going to Control E on this one. There was one that was already in there that I'm working on still. All right, so now we're back in Photoshop. Let's go here. There's a lot of ways you can go about doing it, but the easiest way is probably to take the clone tool and just run it down best you can. Here, just like that. Get rid of it like that. Sample up here. Clone tool is that little stamp, or clone stamp tool. It's a little stamp in the toolbar that you get in Photoshop here. And I like to sample up here. And even though it looks like the wall is coming to an end, and I'm just going to extend it down just so I can get this out of the shot. And so it's not perfect right here. You see we got some stains here, but the overall color is there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take the lasso tool. I'm actually going to do a blur of this. I'm going to try to blur it as much as possible. And you don't necessarily need to. We could do a content aware fill first. So I'm going to cancel that little order, and I'm going to try to do a content aware fill. So I'm just gonna run this little band-aid tool around there. It's essentially content aware fill is what it's doing. And I'm gonna try to get it to recognize what I want it to do here. It's starting to come off a little bit there. All right, I'm gonna cover more of it. Now, the size of your content aware field really matters to Photoshop because that's how much work it has to do, and that's coming away a little nicer. All right, and then I'm going to circle all of it that I want it to do. And I'm just going to content aware field. Now, the bigger spot you make is more likely to grab onto some of the model stuff, so it might bring some model hand parts and stuff in there. Yeah, it's going to do that. But now I'm going to go Control C and try to make a smaller footprint area here. All right. Click right and go to content aware fill. That's looking a little bit better. All right, now I'm just gonna see if I can blur this because it's in the blurry bits anyway. So I'm using a Gaussian blur for my computer. I used it as a Control F. But that's essentially what we're working with, guys. I'm gonna probably smoothen that out a little bit more, get that right. But essentially, that's all it is. Trying to get rid of things. And now, even though the image is not, I didn't level it yet because I'm not on a leveled surface. I'm actually standing on top of something when I'm taking this image. So again, guys, don't judge people before you know what their images were worth and what they did to get that worthy image. So, but I think this was a lovely shot that we took. We just took away a whole chair, pretty much a whole chair back, and I'm gonna level this image to get it. But first, I'm gonna have to extend the image out and level it a little bit more because again, we didn't have a lot of space to work in. There was a spot right here that was getting on my nerves. It was covering my image. It was hard for me to frame it up, but I just did get enough to frame it. Now, I don't necessarily need all of this down here at the bottom. I can actually crop it in here at the bottom, but I don't have a lot of room on the side here. So whenever you crop something, you're usually cropping the front and the side and the other. Excuse me. When you crop something and you're trying to straighten it through cropping, you end up losing some width and length. So it's pretty much locked into its aspect ratio when you're going to crop. So, with all that being said, I'm Devin with CenturyFX Studios. I'm glad you guys tuned in for today. This is just a quick tip on how to get rid of stuff in your image. But I was just using the clone tool and some content aware fill. There's some other ways you can go about doing it, or you can crop something out. I didn't want to crop it out. I wanted to keep this aspect ratio. The best crops are the ones that try to keep the aspect ratio. So if you crop off something on the side, you have to crop off something on the opposite side. Or if you crop off something on the top, you're going to have to crop off something on the side to make it look like you actually got it right in camera and that you use the actual focal distance. Since you have a 2:3 aspect ratio on your sensor, most sensors do, you are working with this rectangular format all the time. So one side is always bigger than the other side, and when you look at it, if you just crop and bring up the bottom and not the sides, then it's going to look like you didn't get it right and you're taking away a lot of megapixels, and it aesthetically won't be pleasing. So with that being said, I'm done with CenturyFX Studios again. I'm going to blur out this wall a little bit more, but you can do whatever you want to. Some people might want to roll with this since it's already blurred. I can also use a gradient filter to get some of that darkness back, and post-crop vignette to try to bring some of that darkness back, and then it's covered up and it's like nothing ever happened. But I had a hard time. I needed a quick fix, and I said, hey, I'm just going to use this in Photoshop. But that's not like a lot of old photographers will tell you, that's don't shoot just for Photoshop. Well, sometimes you can get it done in Photoshop, and it's harder in the actual field to do it. And that's a good time to go to Photoshop and just bang, 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 content aware fill or clone stamp tool. So, with all that being said, you never know what you have to go through to get the shot.